Alright, muri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakare ipo pano paZim News update apo patinoda kupa mafirst hand update anonga ari kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. So kana uri mutsva usabve pano usina kusubscribe, kulike nekushare. Sekuziva kwatiri kuita mhuri yeZimbabwe zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka muinstitution yemauto apo patiri kuona maretired generals, macurrent generals vari kungofa zvinhu zvisina tsarukano uye vari kungofa nenzira yakada kuita sort of like nzira imwe chete yekuassassinatwa. Unoziva kuti uya adonha kupurazi, Victor Matema danda, ngodya chikafu, obva atungudze kuchipatara. Saka zvinhu zvacho hazvina kumira zvakanaka. So tine majunior soldiers vakanyora matsamba mhuri yeZimbabwe. Ava ndivatafumane vanyora hava tsamba iri pascreen apa iyi, but wanga uri kunyorera watafumane kuti muri kuzvionawo sei zvinhu zviri kuitika izvi. Imimi pamwedzi wega muri kugona kuita 2 now. Mwedzi unoyu i2 magamba ashayika mhuri yeZimbabwe, flag iri pahafu. So majunior soldiers vari kubvunza kuti munozvionawo sei zvinhu zviri kuitika izvi. Hazvina kusisina kumira zvakanaka mhuri yeZimbabwe. Tiri kuona kuti veruzhinji even ma-ex combatants ana Henry Muchena nasi Gauke vari kutaurawo nezvazvo kutoti no, zvinhu izvi hazvisina kumira zvakanaka pakuda kuti pange pachionekwa pachiinvestigatewa kunzi chii chiri kunyatsa kumboitika kuinstitution yearmy chete, because kweseka kune maretired officer, maretired commissioners, machichi chimwe kupolisi nevamwe macurrent commissioners. Haumbonzi kuti kana kuti kune vanhu vafa kana kuti kune vanhu vaita sei. Vanongofa as normal sezvangoitika nguva yaPresident Robert Mugabe, but kuarmy tiri kuona Prophet Chiwenga, TF Chiwenga vakataura makore apfuura vachitoti pachawigwa mabrigadier generals akati one day muchibva kunowiga mumwe muchende sezviri kuitika zvinoita kuti Victor Matema danda ari kutoigwawo nhasi pachibudawo futi rimwe tsamba yekutoti kune atofawo chinova chiricho chiratidzo chinoratidza kuti zvinhu hazvinomira zvakanaka. So tiri kuona pana pachava kunzi ZNA Headquarters, private bag 7720 Harare. Phone number dzobva dzaiswa ipapo dzelandline. So tiri kuona pakanyorwa 26 June 2026 Zimbabwe National Army News Release. Pava paiswa chidhindo chemuri kuona apa chemhuri yeZimbabwe. Zimbabwe National Army ZNA announced death of Major General retired Evristo Ziwema. So tikona panapa Asha tafumanei mhuri yeZimbabwe, tisatambowerenga panapa Asha tafumanei wo tatafumanei akamboshandira mumilitary kudhara hani mazona, then wakatomboretire wesa ana Matatu nana Chii chimwaya. Pakadzokera President Emerson Mnangagwa vakaita Director General kuCIO, iwo ana Matatu ana not Matatu kana ana Asha tafumanei. Then waita madirector general kuCIO, takazoona vakazobuda ikoko vakazopinzwa kuchiorganization cheForever Association Zimbabwe FAS chiyachiyechi. Takaona vakarana ikoko zvinhu zvakarana zvakanaka, ndopo vakabva nyatsa kuita aligned naPresident Emerson Mnangagwa kudzamara now ndo wava mutevedzeri wava Matatu mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tikuona pana pakanyorwa kunzi the Commander Zimbabwe National Army Lieutenant General Asha Wota Tafumanei regret to announce the ultimately death of Major General retired Evristo Ziwema. Major General retired Ziwema passed away on 25 June 2026 in India. He was 63. The late Major General retired Ziwema is saved by wife Alice Ziwema and 3 children. Mhuri yeZimbabwe vanga vane vana vatatu vari kunzi house number, vanhu vakaungana, vanhu vari gathered at house number 5535 Zemuri Pakiruwa. More details on burial arrangements will be announced in due course. Tiri kuona vana vapaiswa signature mhuri yeZimbabwe na linkiwe Dube Colonial General. Tiri kuona mhuri yeZimbabwe ndo zviri kuitika panapa, zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka. Uye tochibata nhauwa iri kuitika kunyika yeSouth Africa uko kwatiri kuona kune match iri kuramba ichienderera mberi, apo patakaona Sanco yematex iyaiya vachitaura kuti isusu hatisi involved munhauwa idzodzo, tichangoshanda as usual. Tiri kuona kuti uya anonzi Fakela Mpakatsi aringa ari kutungamira mukuru wacho anonzi Jacinda, so ari kutambisa Pakela Mpakati uyu sort of like front mhuri yeZimbabwe zvekutoti ishield nyangwe akakwara ikoko ndezvake chingwambati muridzi wemasini aya anonzi Jacinda mukadzi mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tiri kuona panapa mataxi drivers akatara kuti hatisi involved munhauwa idzodzo. Takazoona muzuva ranezuro akapinda mutaxi rank nemhomho yevanhu vacho ivo vari kuita machi iwawo, obva vagarisa pasi mutaxi rank kuda kuchallenge kutoti no hapana zvinhu zvemunokwanisa kugona kutiita mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tichionawo vatsonga because kune kwato nematribe kunyika yeSouth Africa uko, because tiri kuona iprovince yeKwaZulu Natal ndo vanozviti tisu maoriginal South African, but hapana maoriginal South African mhuri yeZimbabwe because yaingova land yavanhu vatombozikanwa kuti vanhu vakabva kupi mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tichionawo wavhenda vatsonga nemachangani vaitomacho vachitaura kuti no tira kuti wationewo sevanhu munomu munyika havasiriwo vega mazulu vari kuincharge in South Africa, sort of like sezvavari kuita izve. Takaona vakamacha muzuva ranezuro kuJohannesburg. Nhauwa yacho mhuri yeZimbabwe zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka, zvinhu zviri kubwera. Takuti tinzwe vakomana vaitinawo panapa vambonyasa kutsanangura kuti chii chiri kunyasa kumboitika kunyika yeSouth Africa, apo patiri kuonawo ndo general hungwe wacho wakashayika mhuri yeZimbabwe dziwe makanda kuti hungwe. So ndo mambiriro akaita nhau dzetinadzo pano paZim News update, apo patinoda kupa mafirst hand update anonga ari kuitika muno munyika yeZimbabwe. Ndofuka tiri kuona vakadzi ava ndiwo vamwe vevanhu vari kubatsira vanhu vari kuenda vasina mari dzemabhazi kuti vange vachienda kunyika yeZimbabwe. But ivo vakadzi ava vari kutaura kuti vauye kuno hazvikwanisiki, bhozi atotaura yega. Bhozi wetu zhinji wakari kubvunza kuti ko iwewe neusikandiwo kuZimbabwe. Saka tiri kuona kuti iye azobuda pachena achitaura kuti auye kuno kunyika yeZimbabwe haana kana kuwaka, haana kana pekupindira, haana kana pekuti. So angari kutaura kuti inini hazvikwanisiki kuti ndinge ndichiuya mhuri yeZimbabwe. So tiri kuona ndo zviri kuitika mhuri yeZimbabwe. Ndo mamiriro akaita zvinhu kuSouth Africa. Ndofunga muri kuona mavideos aya ndo zvimwe zvinhu zviri kuitika izvi. Tichidzika nawo mhuri yeZimbabwe tira kuti tione kuti zvakamira 1-1, but zvisinei rekedzai munzwe varume vari kutaura nhauwa dzavari kutaura panapa. I hope ndizvo futi zvemamachi izvi ndofunga tiri kuona vanhu KwaZulu Natal ava. So tiri kuona the big journalist Hope Ching'ono akashora zvikuru vaJacob Zuma nekukura kwavaita. Hope wakuma think 84 years, then oswera achidaidzira kutoti much munhu amachuwa mhuri yeZimbabwe, munhu akamboita president, the former president anonyasa kuziva kuti economy yeSouth Africa kuti inge ichisimuka zvakanyasa kumira sebo, zvese anonga achinyasa kuzviziva mhuri yeZimbabwe. Tiri kuona kuti zvinhu zvacho akashorwa zvikuru naHope Ching'ono, akazobuda achitaura kuti no, inini hapana kana chakaipa chandakaita, kwakuri kungoitawo. So hatisi kuziva kuti legacy ada kuisira vana vake kana kuti bhozi. Tiri kuona kuti achanga achatungamirira nyika yeSouth Africa munhu ane 84 years mhuri yeZimbabwe ngaachisiyana nezvimwe zvinhu. Pedzepo akutokurudzira futi violence. Tiri kuona vakuru weANC anaFikile Mbalula, ana Gayton Mikens, anhu vanhu vakasiyana vanga vachitaura kuti no, ngaabhihave semunhu mukuru, ngaabhihave semunhu mukuru. Ngatinzwe
belittle this problem to say it's a bit little than what it is, because we have to understand the number and what our government is doing at home. To say it's now doing land auditing, moving people, arresting people, destroying houses. And if you own a construction company now, if you have that equipment, you have machina, you can better make more money by destroying houses than by building. If it goes according to their plan, to say how many houses do they want to destroy. If we then factor those ones, which include rural areas, it becomes so massive. But the plan is not there for the government to say if they take that land from those citizens who live nearby Harare. We are only factoring in one city near Harare, the pre-urban, which they want to take and put new plans to say where are they going to settle that one. While we still have another problem again about other million which is coming. And they are not talking about where are they going to settle them and how are they going to house them. Because humans are humans. We can't just throw them in the bush and think we are done. Because nowadays we have disease which can just come up. We are women settle need to be planned.
Yeah, I'll give you 1 minute jobs to land then.
I'm done. Thank you. We are only saying that the government must listen and do something so that we can all be accommodated. Thanks a lot, Arisit.
Oh, thank you, my leader. Let me go to Ron Plus, then Katsande, then after Katsande, then Kushnigus, then Jabba. Ron Plus, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thanks,
Go ahead,
Scotty.
sister.
Good day to everyone else. I have been going through this and paying attention to what is happening to citizens of various countries within the continent. The way I look at it, this is not caused primarily by South Africans. This is caused by leaders.
Mantombazane nomjolo.
Katsande, close your mic, man. Katsande, we can hear the noise in the background there. Kulumani, foot. Go ahead, my sister Ron Plus.
Okay, thanks, Scotty. This is a big problem within our entire continent. It's caused by misgovernance in otherwise rich countries, of which my own country, Zimbabwe, is one of them. Is an example, a typical example of destruction of people's lives, and nobody. I don't know how those politicians get to be politicians. I don't like to say they are good at their game of destruction. I think some of my core citizens might have a better description of this. ZANU-PF has worked on this for a long time. Unfortunately, it's not just ZANU-PF in the African continent. There are many other countries, and those, especially those that are making noise now. I've listened to Nigerians. I don't know this person that keeps talking, intimidating South African organizations and citizens. Instead of working together with a wider audience, instead of taking responsibility that citizens of that country, as much as citizens of my own country, my own family have felt it too. It's the situation that they find themselves in their home countries that drives them away. How do we solve this situation in South Africa right now? That's what the driving away of citizens due to economic reasons and political reasons. That is what is causing the situation in South Africa. We can't just look at South Africa and blame them for this or that. I'm not saying they should do what they're doing the way they're doing it. This problem at this moment is a global problem. It's happening all over the world, maybe for different reasons, but look at what has been happening in parts of the UK. And I think a few days ago, there was a video on TV where the EU Parliament, those men in suits, in beautiful suits, were clapping their hands and going, "Let them go, let them go, let them go." It reminded me of Dudula. It's happening all over the world. I think we need to be honest with ourselves, and the entire continent must work to resolve the problems in South Africa. We caused it. We caused it. When I was growing up, yes, I heard of Wenela, but it was people going to specific mining projects in South Africa. Zimbabweans didn't need to go look for jobs in South Africa. We had enough. Our economy was stable, if not quite strong. Our dollar the rand was nowhere close to our economy, our currency. The question is, how did we get here? I honestly don't believe Zimbabweans can solve their own problems at home. What do? We're in the middle of a rock and a hard place. What do? Do we have solutions? Who do we talk to help us find a solution to our own problems? I think the one person that I have heard of late is this former president of Botswana, and his speech came up with points that are relevant not just to Zimbabwe but to various countries in Africa. What do we do? How do we work on that? I think the South Africans have learned a lesson, especially Thabo Mbeki. He is responsible for what happened in Zimbabwe in 2008. He was there. South Africa even sent some of their army to come and quail down stuff. And those generals, they broke down when they saw the way Zimbabwean citizens who were suspected of being members of the MDC, how they were treated, having their limbs chopped, their hands chopped off. Africa knew this, but they still, especially SADC, South Africa knew this. They covered up for ZANU-PF. They covered locally within SADC, within Africa, and internationally. The entire world, the so-called civilized world, I don't remember coming out strong against what was happening in Zimbabwe. Everyone thought it's impossible to solve and all that. We are here now. What do we do? Do we continue blaming South Africa, or we have to look at the bigger picture? There are many moving parts in that issue. And do we have a way of handling them one by one and in a hierarchy that makes sense? Where do we start? Do we start with SADC? I think the AU, I heard them talk about bringing sanctions against South Africa. I think they should.
I'll give you 1 minute, my sister. Run fast.
Sure, I'll be done. The AU should use those sanctions against countries that have been improperly managing their economies, because they now know what problems it creates. I feel for people that are in South Africa through this terrible time. And I also feel for South Africans, they're having their own problems. I think we should also try asking South Africans to help us resolve our Zimbabwean issue. I mean, a few days ago, Mnangagwa was in South Africa lying. Oh, we have a lot of gold everywhere. Zimbabweans pick gold and they sell it. That's not true. If you have gold, you are forced to sell it to Scots. Everything that he was talking about, he was even telling South Africans that, we have South Africans in Zimbabwe, Ndebeles and whatever he was talking about. We have them there. We are not kicking them out. He's talking about things that happened before he was born himself. And Zimbabweans are quiet. They let him go on with his mess. We need to grow some strength in us. And we need to find out how we tackle our own problems home. I would have gone to that same journalist and told her how Mnangagwa was lying, so that Mnangagwa sees that we think we are not people that he can walk over like that. Thank you.
Asante, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. When I spoke, it's a very, very good space and platform for everyone to basically come together and laugh like Signoro and say things that make sense and also say things that don't make sense. But at the end of the day, padare enkultreni handiti notaura kuti tasanganiswa nengirozi chisangana pachechi kuisangoma ezinjengosinyoro kuma-projects yaba njengodobs into ezinjalo impilo injalo. But at the end of the day, the issue that we are facing, or that we are faced with, is basically the Abahambe story, and it's not a foreign idea or occurrence at all. We've been here before so many times actually. 2008, if we all recall, so many people lost their lives. 2019, we all saw it again when the then king of the Zulu nation, also Litin, called for something of this nature and then ended up also making a U-turn like we are seeing now with the current king saying abantu ababafana neinda tswanyayi ndozvakataura zvelitini ka. And after that ndobva zvakanga kuita mobilize amabuto to seize, whatever they were doing. And that's kind of what we saw also with the current king saying, hey, they Osmari must go and the likes, and then making a U-turn to say, no, let's not about shy. But when leaders make these statements, it is quite unfortunate, really. And we can also hear from Umbalula's statement there when he was basically giving a reflection on how the previous president of the country is kind of interacting with the people and going on to form a political party that is also kind of inciting and siding with all these things that the government is trying to calm down, and it becomes quite big. I think if you are to compare, the only difference is if you are to compare 2008 and now is that the people have become more organized now. There is more organization. 2008 and 2019 was very random. I think 2019 we saw a little bit of organization, but now it's very clear that there's now organization and a bit of funding also related to it. But at the end of the day, whilst one can maybe want to ask the question why the people are so organized, I think the question should be, what is it that they are saying and what should be done? At the end of the day, we feel like we have been here before. We are being told to go. And if you were in a senior, you come back to your house after work, you find me, Katande, sitting in your house, cooking and having dinner with your girlfriend, your wife, and your children. And then you ask me to leave, to go. And then I say, no, I'm not going. Are you going to be friendly with me? Eventually, you're going to say, no, I said go, and you push me out. So this is what is going on a macro level. I just gave a micro level example there. So this is basically what is happening. It will definitely calm down, but still a lot of people will be displaced. A lot of people will lose their livelihoods. Some will also lose their lives. It is what is going to happen. So who do you blame? Do you blame the people for asking you to go because they want to see employment opportunities opening? One might say, "Oh, you're not the problem. The problem is it's quite big, and we shouldn't blame Signoro for taking your job as a security guard." But also, we need to understand that as long as you go, that opening is going to come up and someone is going to occupy it, someone with an ID. So one job is enough to then take care of maybe 10 people and extended family. So that's kind of how you look at it as well. But then you come here with theories and then theories. How do you reason with someone who is hungry, someone who wants to put food on the table, someone who wants to at least maybe make a livelihood, provide for their families and their children? So let's also think about holding our governments very accountable. I think we have been too comfortable in our own circumstances. And it's situations like this and circumstances like this that remind us, just like what Ron Plus said there. We are seeing this nonsense that is going on in Zimbabwe, and then the Mutsvangwas going on to lie under, and representing the government, and then going on to lie, like Ron Plus said. And then we have got, these term extensions, and then we have got in South Africa, people can go around protesting and go, as long as they are not, being violent. It's allowed within their constitution, and also in Zimbabwe it's allowed. But then they then make laws to say you need also then to get a permit from the police. I mean, you have to notify the police, which will eventually react in saying no, you cannot. It's going to be disrupted. So as a result, you can't. So you are not really free. So in the meantime, what are you doing to change your circumstances? I think that's the question for me. So as long as you are not doing anything to change your circumstances, then you are going to find yourself in these situations, more than a dozen times, if not more than 30 times. So let's respect their position. They are fed up. They are fed up. And also, whilst we can say please just be lenient with us, but then it becomes a question of for how long. You see, we've been here, like I said, in 2010, 28, and also you, like we heard from Ron Plus talking about senior who spoke about Winera days, when we were not even, when South Africa wasn't even free. Those days things were going so well in Zimbabwe, and it was even pre 1980, and people were already going to. So there is definitely something in South Africa that's attracting people and pulling them. But at some point, we also have to realize that the world has evolved. The current colonialist is your brother who has got the same skin tone and complexion with you, and it is somehow accepted that as long as it's not the other race that's constricting you and suffocating you, it's acceptable. I think we need to change the narrative. We should not accept dictatorship and apartheid like laws and rules just because they are coming from someone who is of the same race and color as us. We need to reflect on the rights that we need, and that the rights that we should be accorded as a people. And from that angle, then we should then start to think about how do we reclaim our rights, and how do we reclaim our freedom. But in the meantime, whilst you are thinking about that broad question and how you are going to do it, you are being told to go home. And Makelwane is now being threatened by the police. For every illegal immigrant that is living in their yard, they are being threatened with a 10,000 rand fine. That's like 500 pound. That's like 600 US dollars. That's a lot of money. So if you are then threatening someone in Kailicha there, or Maharare, Site C, or Guguletu, Philippi, and maybe Tembisa or Soweto, that you have got 3 legal immigrants in your yard, so you're going to pay 30,000. So what is going to happen now? So I think the government has been paying a blind eye for quite a while, but it is within their law to charge whoever is harboring, because it becomes then a case of harboring illegal immigrants, just like the same case that you see with buses and
And we
combis
give you
that
1 minute.
transfer illegal immigrants being charged with. If you harbor, you get, even your quantum gets confiscated. So that's also what we are hearing, that's the same that's happening with the houses. If you are harboring, your house also gets taken. It's an RDP house, it's a government property. You are harboring and renting out immigrants that are illegal, you are charged, and then it gets confiscated. That's where things are going now. So whether we like it or not, either you're going to be dudulad by Jacinta, and if not, then the government is also going to dudula you. So, guys, let's start working, saving up, think about going home. And if not, you're going home because it's not right at the moment, think about other destinations. But South Africans are waking up. The government is under pressure. ANC, you can already see the ANC is on in a GNU now. Definitely we are going to by elections, municipal by elections, they are still going to lose more. And then we go to MPs, they are still going to lose more. There's no turning back. And maybe this is the light at the end of the tunnel for Zimbabweans in terms of ZANU-PF, but it's still a very long road. So think about either going home, other destinations, but the people are waking up and the government is under pressure. And that's just how it is. And obviously for Zuma, of course, I don't know what he's playing at. I think he's just trying to finish his unfinished projects, like we are seeing with ED there. But that's kind of what happens also when a president, gets off power and then comes back, like we are seeing with the RC there. It destabilizes things because they've got a following, of course. But you can also not blame the basic voices that are saying we need jobs. South Africa is seeing an increase in unemployment at the moment. I'm here on the ground. I can see it. One of the people also thinking of going into a camp because I don't have anything.
Thank you, Katsan.
So yes, that's where we are. Hallelujah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, who's coming? We need to round up, then we close this topic. I think we exhausted already with it. Then we go back also to our topic. Yeah. Who's coming next? Is it Owen? Do you want to say something? Because we've been waiting for long there. Owen. Goma Owen. Owen is not there. Okay. So go
I
ahead, then we go
also have
round
a
up.
question. I have a question to South Africans and Zimbabweans. So there's an issue of amnesty, South Africans particularly. We are going to try and deal with that in Zimbabwe because people need amnesty because they are traumatized. Some they've been 30 years away from home. On the South African side, I believe, I don't know, I don't trust, I trust in God, but I believe it's true that there are people rotting in Lindela. I'm citing that deliberately, gluing it up with the people that have to be documented, taking their fingerprint. Some are scared because they know what it is. They are being criminals.
Give to Zoe,
After
man. She's got a lot to say in the comment section, and you are going back to Obo Senior, whom we listen
after
to every
waiting,
day here. What is your
after
question, Signor?
waiting,
So Zoe can come in. She has had her hand up for the past 30 minutes, being respectful and
after
just bulldoze in. What is wrong?
after waiting to be recognized, and then now they have to admit that they're a criminal because that's a
Zoe
process.
can come in.
That's a
So,
process that has to be to satisfy
no,
the
Signor,
immigration
please. You
justice.
said it's a
So
question. You said
how
it's a
do
question,
we
and now you are